Alright folks, so listen up. So a couple of weeks ago I filmed a video on how to film a cinematic B-roll anywhere, and that got over 500,000 views, which is totally crazy. So I thought, why not make a similar video and show you guys how to be more creative with your B-roll shots using your iPhone. So right now I'm at Greifensee, which is a beautiful lake here in Switzerland, and I love coming here. And currently we have really cloudy skies, which is perfect because the clouds act as a diffuser, softening the light, which makes our videos look more pleasing. And also, it's not that hot. And I think it's a perfect day to film some B-roll, have some fun, and give you guys 5 easy tips on how to film creatively with your iPhone anywhere. See this over here? This, my friends, is a mosquito bite. Whenever you go out on a forest, bring your mosquito spray with you. Now, in a previous video, I showed you how to film a cinematic B-roll video, just handheld, but this time we're actually gonna use a tripod as well, because this gives me more freedom to position my camera. And the tripod I'm using right here, this is the one from Sandmark. This is the carbon fiber edition. The reason why I like this tripod so much is because it's super lightweight, making it great to travel around. It weighs only 1 kilogram, so it's really lightweight. Now this is more of a pricier tripod since it's made out of carbon fiber. It's around $300. There's certainly cheaper ones out there, which I will leave links in the video description below. But if you're like me, who needs to bring other gear to, create these tutorials, every gram counts. So I'm super happy about this tripod. And of course we have our camera. I'm using the latest iPhone as of making this video. This is the iPhone 14 Pro. So in terms of camera settings, I'll be shooting on the default camera app on my iPhone. I'll be choosing the standard video mode, and the resolution I set to 4K, which provides me the highest quality possible, and the frame rate I set to 60 frames per second. This way I can slow down the footage. Now, it's not always necessary to shoot in 60 frames per second. You will have to ask yourself if it's really necessary to slow it down, but it's a good idea to mix up different frame rates to create a more interesting video. Now, what I also like to do before I start recording is to tap hold on the screen until AEAF lock appears. This means that your auto exposure and autofocus is locked. This will result in a more professional looking video, as no exposure changes will occur while recording. So now that we have the basics out of the way, let's get started with the first tip. So the first tip I have for you guys when it comes to getting creative B-rolls is to include a time-lapse in your video. And this is where a tripod becomes really important, as I can position the camera how I want it to be and also keeps the camera still. And I think including a time-lapse at the beginning of your video will be a great opening shot. So the first thing you want to do is head over to the default camera app, select the time-lapse mode function. You want to make sure your horizon is leveled, and to get the best results possible, you want to tap hold to lock the focus, exposure, and white balance. Now the time-lapse works really great for moving subjects. In this example, I'll be focusing on the clouds. Now keep in mind that the time-lapse function on the iPhone currently supports only up to 1080p. If you want to record your time-lapse in a higher resolution, you might want to consider Filmic Pro. Now you can see that I have some foreground over here just to add some depth. Once I'm ready, I'm gonna select the record button, and what it does is it takes a picture every 2 to 3 seconds and then compiles these images to create the illusion of time passing by. I'm just gonna wait now for maybe, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes. If you really want to take your videos to the next level, you also want to include a macro shot in your video. And on the iPhone 14 Pro, I'm able to get really close to my subject to create those detailed shots. So you can see that as I come closer, it now switches to the macro lens, and you can see that I can get really close. Now, the problem with capturing these detailed shots is that the shakes are more apparent. Now, I could increase the frame rate to 30 frames per second. However, the shakes will still be apparent, and increasing it to 60 frames per second will disable the macro lens. So in that case, you could either use a tripod and then maybe digitally zoom in to add camera movement to your shot, or you could use a third-party lens like the one from Sandmark, the 100mm macro lens. So this is the lens right here, which I find looks even better than using the macro lens on the iPhone. And also for those who do not have a built-in macro lens on their iPhone, this is a great option. So I've attached Sandmark's case and also screwed on the macro lens, which looks insane. So let's look at it right now. So I'm recording in 4K 60 frames per second. So I'm gonna start recording. I'm gonna do a push in slowly, and you can see how nicely the focus shifts as I move the camera. So this creates a really interesting shot, a nice natural looking shallow depth of field. It really mimics the human eye and counteracts the artificial sharpening of the iPhone, making your videos look more cinematic. Now, Sandmark does have a 25mm macro lens, but you have to be really close to the subject to capture those detailed shots, while this one provides an extended focus distance. When you're out on a shoot, it can be helpful to search for the music in advance, as it can drive the creative process. Have you ever listened to music and then all of a sudden got inspired to create something? Well, it works for me, and I get ideas of how the visuals can interact with the music, and that is why I like to use Artlist, who is our sponsor of today's video. Artlist offers a wide variety of high-quality royalty-free music and sound effects that you can download and use in any of your projects. You don't have to worry about copyright issues, as it's all taken care of. What I like about their music platform is that their search function is super easy to use and allows you to find the perfect soundtrack based on mood, video theme, genre, and instrument. What's even better is that you can also find similar tracks to the ones you like. For me, having good music not only drives my creativity, but also helps plan out the B-rolls. Knowing what kind of music you want to use in your video can help decide what kind of shots you need. For example, if the music you picked has a lot of energy, then you might want to film shots with intense movement, like a person running. On the other hand, if you picked something more relaxed and calm, as I did for this video, then you might want to focus on slower and smooth camera movements. Now, a big part is also adding sound effects to add more atmosphere in your videos and enhance your transitions. You can choose from different categories like ambient, realistic, Foley, and more to narrow down your search. Now, if you use the link in the video description below, you can get 2 months extra for free. I highly recommend you check out Artlist and search for the music beforehand, as it can help with your creativity and make planning your B-rolls much easier. Once again, I want to thank Artlist for supporting this channel. With that said, let's move on to the next tip. So the next tip I have for you is called the 3-shot rule. That's what I call it. You want to make sure to capture wide, medium, and close-up shots. And in order to be more creative with your shots, try to avoid shooting from eye level and think about how you can make your shots look more interesting. So we have this beautiful tree over here, and we have the sun peeking from behind. So I'm going to start recording and go. So I'm gonna get low to the ground. I'm gonna set focus on this one over here. I'm gonna create a push-in shot. As a bonus tip, I've captured now a medium and a close-up shot. For the wide shot, I'm actually gonna create a masking transition. So what I'm gonna do is move the foreground object and let it pass by the lens completely. I'm gonna use the tree for that. So this is gonna be the wide shot. I'm gonna tap hold to lock focus and exposure. And once I'm ready, I'm gonna create a slide shot and pass by the tree. So this will be the second shot. It's going to be a static shot of me looking into the distance, and I think it's going to fit well with the slide shot I created in the previous video, where I'm then going to mask the part out to reveal this shot. So I'm currently using the Apple Watch to frame myself, and I think it looks good. Yeah, I'm just going to start recording and look into the distance. Alright guys, it has been a long day, but I'm happy we captured all of the shots. Let's now look at the final edit, including the behind the scenes, so you guys can see how I've shot the video. Alright folks, you made it till the end. Congratulations. I hope this tutorial helped you become more creative when it comes to capturing B-rolls. So make sure to find a forest nearby and implement those techniques that I showed you in this video. Now if you're wondering what colors I used, they're from my premium mobile LUTs, which include 10 creative mobile LUTs that you can instantly apply to your mobile videos to make them look cinematic. So if you're interested, I'm running a 50% sale. Make sure to check out the link in the video description below. Now if you want to learn the editing process behind it, I have an online course called smartphonefilmmaking.com where I break down some of my popular cinematic videos shot on an iPhone and walk you step by step of how I edited the shot. And of course, I have more tutorials similar to this one, all available inside the course, where I'll be showing you everything I know on how to get the most out of your smartphone. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check out the link in the video description below. Other than that, thank you so much for watching guys. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.